When we do finally get a new Stargate series, I think I know the perfect protagonist. Welcome to Scitrek, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. So, we all know that the difference between a good show and a great show is a great bad guy. If Stargate is to succeed, they need a good bad guy. And I think I have the perfect candidate. The Furlings.
We are the Furlings.
We thought we'd never get to meet you.
We led them straight here.
I thought I could make it work. The thermodynamic loop is feeding back into the planet's core. Well, that never happened.
Now, we don't know much about the Furlings, even though Jack O'Neill's convinced they look like the Ewoks. Beyond the fact that they were a member of the first 4 races that set up an alliance against the Goa'uld, we don't know a great deal about them. We've seen episodes where it was rumoured that we met them. We saw episodes where it was rumoured they built the touchstone, for example, the weather control device. We know that they built a utopian community in the episode Paradise Lost, and the Goa'uld snuck a chemical weapon in there that made them all kill themselves. Other than that, and episodes like Grace, we don't know a great deal about them. Now, the fact that they are a complete mystery compared to the Nox, the Asgard, and obviously the Ancients, I think makes them a really interesting target to make the main protagonist of a new series. Also, they could come in like a good guy and something happens and they twist. Or we could see a faction of the Furlings maybe that come in and have an agenda that we, for whatever reason, need to go and fight them against. But the main reason why I think the Furlings would be a really interesting protagonist, other than the fact that we'd love to know more about them, is that an enemy for the new series has to be more advanced or more terrifying than something we've seen before. So we had the Goa'uld, the Replicators, the Wraith, and the Ori, and the SGC defeated them all. So what do we have next? Well, obviously one of the original 4 great races would make a really interesting bad guy. But also, it wouldn't just be a bad guy because they're evil. There would have to be some sort of storyline to explain why they'd become the protagonist, why they'd become a threat. Because obviously they were an ally of the Asgard, the Ancients, and the Nox. So what happened to them that turned them into an enemy? I think situations like maybe Paradise Lost episode, where they had a utopian society, where they allowed people to join them in peace with no weapons, but then were slaughtered. Maybe that's one of the reasons that turned them or changed their thinking in some way that makes them an enemy in the future. I'm thinking sort of like where the Vorlons were considered our allies but then turned out to be an enemy towards the end of Babylon 5. Or how, say, in the MCU, you've got bad guys that aren't evil. They've always got a reason. Like the Kingpin in Daredevil. He had a reason for what he was doing. He didn't think of himself as the bad guy. He thought of himself as making tough choices. The obvious one of that is also Thanos. He didn't consider himself the bad guy. He thought he was saving the half that was left, rather than worrying about the fact that he was killing the half that he vaporized. Another interesting part maybe would be if this was just a faction of the Furlings. Somebody, because at the end of the day, no species is the same. Look at humanity. We all have different cultures, different societies. Maybe it's just a small part of the Furlings that we're having to contend with, and the rest of the Furlings are peace-loving still and kind. Maybe the Furlings did actually all ascend, and a small group of them have decided to return for some reason. Maybe it's as simple as they've decided that there's too much evil and too much violence in the universe, and that they're going to return to our galaxy to sort us all out, like angry parents punishing their children. But what do you think about my idea about making the Furlings the protagonist in a new series? Or would you prefer to have something completely new, completely different, an enemy we'd never heard of before? Get in the comments, tell me exactly what you think. Also, if you are new to the channel, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, it really helps us out. Also, if you enjoy the content, please consider hitting that join button and becoming a fully fledged Sci-Trekker. And as always, please stay safe. I'll see you next time.